Now, there is some more evidence today that eating too much red meat could significantly increase the risk of dying from heart disease and cancer. Scientists at Harvard University have examined the death rates for 120,000 people over 2 decades in a major new study. Well, we're joined now by our guest here, Jonathan Gabay, who's an expert on marketing and branding. And Jonathan, we get so much advice on food now,
absolutely,
and particularly on red meat, actually, that it's not good for you. But at the same time, people are saying, well, you don't stop eating red meat altogether because you need protein from it, but don't eat too much because that gives you heart disease. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it?
There is the nub of the issue. People are totally confused, because there have been so many conflicting pieces of advice, including from a marketing point of view, an advertising point of view, of do and don't, that I think that this new piece of advice, all it serves to do is just add even more confusion to the compote of confusion that is whatever it is, no one knows. I mean, may I give you some examples? The World Cancer Research are saying that it's inadvisable for children to even eat any sausages at all. So that's can you imagine the kids no sausages? That's a bit strange. Then there's the idea that you're supposed to have maybe 2 steaks a week, but then it went to 1 steak a week. But then of course you've got the debate on how big is the steak. Then you've got the issue on advertising, marketing in terms of the 5 a day, in terms of fruit. But if you look at different countries around the world, you're going to get different pieces of advice. So once again, we have this issue of consistency. What happens is that people will start thinking, I believe that what people will start doing, and they already do anyway, they're going to say, well, this authority is saying this authority is saying that. I like eating my, for example, bacon sandwich or whatever it might be. You know, I'm just going to carry on because no one knows what the actual hard facts is. There was even a piece of advice that came out that said that cholesterol is good for you. Well, I mean, maybe it is, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, okay? But maybe it is. I have no idea. You know,
but presumably the red meat lobby, I mean, the red meat, you know, farmers and so on can say, hang on a minute, well, red meat actually, at least in small quantity, is good for you.
Oh, so. Absolutely. And they have come out immediately by saying that we've got vitamin D and so on and so forth in terms of, and iron, of course, in terms of red meat. But then you'll have another piece of advice which will be conflicting. It's really important that when one is going to be having any type of campaign, especially to do with a health campaign, and it is a serious thing, health campaigns, you've got to be consistent. There's one other thing here. There is another institute in America that said, which is quite interesting, and I quote, they don't think there's a lot of risk associated with processes used to produce hot dog or bacon. But the interesting thing that I was thinking is that they don't think. Well, they either know or they don't know. So who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's had its bacon. I have no idea.
So do you think in general the sort of marketing of these food messages, people are not getting that marketing quite right?
I totally agree. I think they got it wrong. Okay. I think that there are many ways that one can approach this sort of thing. Price is one way. I know it's not marketing per se in terms of, you know, putting the price up, but it is in a roundabout way. So price. The next one is that you could actually make a law, but you can't make a law saying that one can eat meat or one can't eat meat. So that one's out of the way. But there was a law with the seat belts, and the seatbelt one, it became a habit. However, there's also a law about mobile phones in the car, sorry. And I don't know, but I have spotted, I don't know about you, but I've spotted people with mobile phones in the car. So it's a very difficult one to get right.
But in a sense, that's an easy, or certainly seatbelts is an easier message to hammer home. It's just like, wear it, else you'll go through the windscreen. Whereas food, it's more arguable, it's more debatable, and that is the problem, isn't it?
Absolutely. And then you're going to get the vegetarian contingent who will then say something completely different.
So it's a bit of a nightmare if you're trying to market these messages.
No, all they have to do, it's really simple. All they have to do is that they have to reach some sort of consensus on this in terms of international stuff to do with food, health and all that sort of idea, and stick to the script. All right.
Good advice. Jonathan Gabay, thank you very much for being with us.
Okay.
Now, time for a business update.